Welcome back. We are waiting on the delayed September jobs report. It is out in a minute and a half. The first major economic data to drop after the government reopened. Economists are expecting 50,000 jobs created for the month of September, with the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.3%. Joining me now, once again, ER Share CEO Joel Schulman. Also with me, of course, Mark Tepper and Cheryl Casoni. Yeah, we're looking pretty healthy because we're at a moment in this economy where we are looking at a revolution in technology. I mean, look at what AI is doing to every single industry. That's why you've got the NASDAQ up almost 500 right now, Joel. Would you buy into this? What are you seeing in terms of investors?
100% buy in. We've got to remember, in many cases, we've got a deflationary environment because you look at, for example, NVIDIA, which is driving the market today. They increased revenues by 6x, 6 times in the last 3 years, and their profits are up 10 times. They've gone from 15 billion to about 150 billion. They've increased by 10x on their profits. So we've got to look at these companies. The margins are widening, and they're doing so with not even double the employees. They've gone from about 26,000 to about 36,000 employees. So they're racking up extraordinary revenue growth, extraordinary profit growth with fewer people. So the revenue per employee, the productivity is going through the roof. But we've got to remember, this is a bifurcated market. We've got a dual market. We've got, in some cases, we've got companies that are just having blowout. Some cases, where they're serving the low end of the market, lower end of the market in fast food. They're hurting. And we're seeing a lot of differences here. We're seeing bankruptcies up 4x from last year. We're seeing 1.1 million jobs related to, in part, AI and also outsourcing. So we've got we've got unemployment going from 4.3 to 4.4. So I would hope that the Fed looks at the difference between the ECB and our Fed rate, which is almost double, and realize that inflation is no longer the issue. Inflation is in the rearview mirror. They got to focus on the job growth for the lower end of the market, and they've really got to cut rates in December. I'm blown away by the predictive markets, which right now are putting a 25% likelihood of a Fed cut in December. A 25%, that means it's a 4x return. If you put $100 down, you get 4 times your money. And companies like Crypto.com and Kalshi are playing that predictive market. And I think that's a really interesting insight in terms of what people are thinking for the Fed cut. I think they should cut. Well,
by the way, I'm surprised it's not more than 25%. 25% is not exactly a big number when you look at the fourth quarter and the fact that we were expecting a cut in December. But, Joel, how do you see investors reacting to this? Thank you, Steve. 1 minute.
So first of all, the jobs report is not driving the markets today and probably won't be driving it for the remainder of the fourth quarter. I mean, NVIDIA was kind of the final stamp in terms of tech, saying AI is real, growth is real, revenue productivity is real. And we're seeing the market's really driven by the handful of companies. We talked about the Mag 7, for a couple of years now. It's really the mega caps are driving the market. But as Mark said, it's going to start to trickle down. We're going to see greater growth among the mid caps, small caps, probably in 2026. So this is starting to trickle down. We're seeing a lot of entrepreneurial activity, some because they perceive opportunity in the marketplace, and some because they're forced out or they're not getting jobs if you're a young person graduating. But we're seeing greater entrepreneurial activity. We're going to see the markets, I think, for the remainder of the year really rallying from here. They took a big hit early part of November, last part of October. We're going to see it recover. And I think we're going to have a greater likelihood of a rate cut in December. I may be the minority voice in this.
All right.
But I see December having a rate cut.
We got to jump. We got to jump. Hey, the market value of NVIDIA, last time I checked, close to $5 trillion. Just saying. All right, Stephanie Pomboy, Jerry Stewart, Steve Moore, Joel Schulman, Mark Tepper, Cheryl Casoni. Thank you, everybody. Great show. Great to see you.